Howdy folks, I'm Dreary Dark Mullen, dramatically draping dusky, drowsy doorways.
I'm Amber.
And here are more dark doorways for us to drape ourselves over. I guess that's what we're doing when we're a flower. So let's get started. Oh, and folks, we're still not doing any weekend episodes this month, so just to remind you, so we'll see you on Monday. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk If I Contacted a Girl That I Rejected in High School After She Had the Best Glow-Up I've Ever Seen? She went from a 7 to a 10. As the title says, there's this girl which was definitely cute in high school, but unfortunately I turned her down, and now she had the most ridiculous glow-up that I've ever seen. Straight up model level. Will I be the jerk if I contacted her now? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP, you would be the jerk. Hopefully if you do contact her, she laughs in your face. It just shows how shallow of a person you are. Nothing about her has changed except for her looks, and suddenly she's acceptable to you.
Well, I mean, I think that's the biggest issue I have here is that this feels more like all OP cares about is looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like if her personality wasn't good enough for you in high school, then why would you assume that it would be, fine now? And so, I mean, like, it's clear that this is all about looks and has nothing to do with anything else, right?
And it raises concerns for me about, like, if he's going into this acting like he wants a relationship now, if she were to say yes, then is he going to stick by her if she has a baby or if her figure changes otherwise? Like,
yeah, I mean, people's figures change over time. That's just the reality of the world. So if she, in the future has a child or, in the future gains weight in some way or, doesn't meet his quote unquote standards, what's going to happen then? Is he going to go and find the next cutie that he can, right? So I think that he wouldn't be doing her any favors here. I think he needs to spend some time and reflect on his priorities in a relationship, and that if looks are the only thing that matter to him, then that kind of shows poor form, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Letting My Mom into our bedroom while my wife, a 29-year-old female, was sleeping because I, a 32-year-old male, didn't think that it was that big of a deal? My parents only live about 15 minutes away and sometimes randomly stop by. A few days ago, they came over in the morning while I was making breakfast. I also had an important work meeting the next day. And while they were talking, my mom asked if she could pick out an outfit for me. For some context, my mom usually helps my dad pick out suits and work outfits, so I trust her judgment. Also, my younger brother recently moved out, so I honestly thought that she was just missing taking care of her sons in that way. I told her that my wife was still sleeping and asked her to be quiet. She promised that she would. My mom then went into her bedroom to look for my closet. At one point, she briefly called my dad in to show him something. The whole thing lasted maybe 2 minutes. I didn't think much about it because my wife was wearing pajamas, and in my family, we've always been very comfortable around each other. We're the kind of family where someone showers while another brushes their teeth. I honestly thought that my wife got along fine with my parents and wouldn't mind since it all took less than 20 minutes. After my parents left, I checked on my wife because she normally doesn't sleep that late. I found her awake on her phone and she said she actually had been awake for over an hour. When I asked why she didn't come out, she got really upset. She said that my parents, especially my mom, were loud and woke her up almost immediately. She also said that my mom made comments about her still sleeping in while I was already up making breakfast. Apparently, my mom also opened my wife's wardrobe and closet and looked through her things. I asked my mom about it later, and she said that she opened the wrong closet by accident. But my wife doesn't believe that because we've lived here for 5 years and my mom knows which closet is mine. My wife also said that she felt uncomfortable because she was half asleep, barely dressed, and already uncomfortable with my mom being in our bedroom, let alone my dad too, even briefly. I told her that I understood why she felt uncomfortable, but I also pointed out that she was still decently dressed, and that in my family, this level of closeness is normal. I also asked why she didn't say anything if it bothered her that much. This made things worse. She said that there was no point because she already knew how it would go. My mom would cry and I would defend her like I always do, which honestly hurt because I don't think that's true. She said that eventually she just pretended to stay asleep because it was her day off and she didn't want to start a fight the first thing in the morning. She also thinks that my mom knew that she was awake because of the comments about her still sleeping, but my mom denies that. Now my wife is still talking to me, but she's noticeably cold and distant. Honestly, it's bad because she works a lot, and I was really looking forward to spending some time with her that day. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Holy heck, yes, you are the jerk, OP. Is this house you and your mom's house or you and your wife's house? This is you and your wife's house, right? Your wife has a right to privacy in her own home, in her own sleeping space. It does not mean she does not care about your family, although, I mean, if she doesn't with how they treat her, I would understand. You are allowed to set boundaries with the people you love. It is okay to not want people in your bedroom, even if you're close to them, even if you care about them. You know, if I was fast asleep and my parents came bursting into my bedroom, I'd be pretty annoyed about that.
So, I think that OP kind of has some confusing notions here, right? It's all right for OP to be close enough to his family where he can brush his teeth or shower while they, brush their teeth or shower, right? That's fine. I personally don't, think that that would be something I would be comfortable with, but if he's comfortable with it, fine, whatever. But his wife does not have to be comfortable with that, right? She does not have to live by his standards of comfort, right?
Right, he seems to be trying to force he seems to be trying to force his wife into the family structure of his family of origin.
Mm-hmm.
But OP, your wife is your family now. You're creating a new family together, and you are allowed, and it's even good to have a different set of boundaries. You need to be setting boundaries with her, not trying to impose your family of origin dynamics on her.
Yeah. And then OP also goes on and says, well, I don't understand it. I don't think it's fair. I don't ever, it makes it sound like it's ridiculous that OP would take his mom's side. But several times in the story, he was like, well, I checked with my mom, but she denies it, right?
Right.
Or my mom says that this wasn't true, or something like that, where it's literally like you're checking in with your mom to see what her side of things are over what your wife has, and you're acting incredulous towards what your wife is saying, right?
OP, I think this is a great opportunity for you to reflect on things and maybe take some distance from your parents. It's great to be close to your parents, but it's not great for them to be dropping in at random and popping into your bedroom. Like the fact that the mom would even want to go pick out the son's clothes while the wife is sleeping in there, and then just calls father-in-law in there. These people have absolutely no respect for OP's wife whatsoever.
Yeah. So I think that OP and their wife probably should go to couples counseling, because I think that's a good next step here. And I agree, putting some distance between them and their parents is also probably a pretty good next step. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Selling Something That I Got for Free? A few weeks back, I, a 44-year-old male, won a car in one of those supermarket giveaways. There are various reasons that I don't want to keep it. I spend a significant portion of the year traveling between two continents. I don't have a garage to keep it in when I'm in my home country. And, perhaps most importantly, the car has a manual transmission, and I'm a bad enough driver on an automatic. I could, however, use a couple extra €1,000, so I decided to sell it. A friend of mine, a married couple, I will call Laura, a 36-year-old female, and Patrick, a 38-year-old male, are in the market for a new car. So I turn to them first. The ticket price of the car is €20,000. I need to pay taxes on the winnings of some $4,000, and I offered it to them for $14,000. They save $6,000, which means that they don't need to take out a partial loan as they were planning. I end up with $10,000. Everyone wins. Laura and Patrick very happily accepted, and we should have all the paperwork done next week. I was hanging out with Laura and Patrick last weekend, signing the paperwork, and at one point, another friend of theirs, we'll call him Jake, a 34-year-old male, shows up. I don't talk to him. Why is a long story. One of the reasons is that he's a know-it-all jerk who is just incapable of keeping out of other people's business. And sure enough, when Jake found out what was going on, he felt the need to offer his opinion, which amounted to accusing me of taking advantage of Laura and Patrick and arguing that if I were a real friend, I would just give them the car. Laura, who doesn't like Jake either, but is the sweetest person ever, So she does not let him know, politely shut him down, and he thankfully left shortly after that. Laura then apologized and told me that she thought that what Jake had said was dumb, but that surprisingly to both of us, some other friends of hers think the same. And then yesterday I met up with Alex, a 39-year-old male, a mutual friend of mine and Laura's. Laura, him, and me worked in the same office for a couple of years, and while I left for greener pastures a long time ago, they and some mutual friends still work there. Alex told me with some amusement that the entire thing with the car has been the subject of much gossip at the office. According to what he told me, some people are basically taking Jake's side and calling what I did exploitative in taking advantage of Laura's situation, since I am charging them money for something that cost me nothing. So Reddit, am I the jerk for selling something that I got for free? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. You and the couple involved are happy with the situation. That's all that matters. You are not entitled to give away something for free just because you got it for free.
Yeah, I mean, OP could have sold this to anybody, right?
And also, just as like too, like this wasn't actually free. Like OP still has to pay $4,000 in taxes on
Yeah.
it.
Well, I think that's it too, right? OP is going to have to pay that tax no matter what. And also, OP could have sold this to anybody, but they chose to give the friends the first dibs at it, right? Because they could have sold this for more money, right? They could have gotten even more money out of this. And instead, they're just being like, yeah, whatever, 6K, it doesn't matter to me, right? $6,000 is a lot of money to leave on the table, right? I think that if anything, OP is being very generous with them because most people would, would be over the moon to be able to get a car with $6,000 off of it and not have to deal with a dealership or any other of that kind of nonsense, right? So I think that OP is being an extremely kind person and not taking advantage of people. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I the Jerk? A former landlord wants me to remove something a year later. We rented a nice house, and when our landlord took it back last April 2025 that is, we left behind some patio furniture, and an 8x8 pergola, and a mini fridge. Tonight, she texted me and said that she's been in a bad place during the walkthrough and would like us to remove the pergola and fridge. I guess that she's okay with the furniture. I feel like this is not my responsibility, and hey, I'm in a bad place now. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, I feel like most places have policies about a certain amount of time. Like if you leave stuff for a month and haven't collected it, it's not yours anymore. Like you could check your local jurisdiction to see what kind of policies they have about abandoned possessions. But clearly after a year, this is not your responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, OP doesn't need to take care of this anymore. Like, they had a year to figure out this. I mean, if it was 2 weeks later, I could understand OP taking care of it, but a year, no, it doesn't matter. She did the walkthrough. Doesn't matter if she was in a bad place or not. She's the person who's renting this, so she has to take responsibility, even when she has a bad day or a bad
Right.
week or a bad year.
Well, and I'm wondering too if like the most recent tenants have like ruined them or something. Because like
Mm,
if it's been an entire year and these have been used, like she's been renting out this unit, then like maybe they destroyed the mini fridge or something like that and now
mm,
wants OP to clean up the mess. But at any rate, it's still her responsibility.
exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for letting my female coworker take care of me when my girlfriend was at a yoga retreat? English is not my first language, and there might be spelling errors. I'm a 27-year-old male, and I've been in a 4-year relationship with my amazing girlfriend, a 29-year-old female. She is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I'm very happy in our relationship. My girlfriend is an Instagram content creator, and she frequently gets free stays at hotels and resorts in exchange for promotion. This time, she was invited to a 2-week yoga retreat in Bali. Had it not been for work, I would have loved to join her. Even though I missed her a lot, the time difference and her strict schedule meant that she was not able to call me all that much. I have been living away from my family due to work, and my social circle here is very limited besides my girlfriend. I go out with my coworkers for lunch or dinner occasionally, but I do not consider any of them to be my close friends, though I am sincere and cordial with them. While she was gone, I got into a car accident and was hospitalized. My girlfriend's retreat was ending soon. She decided to come as the retreat ended. While I was sad about this, I understood her. During my hospitalization, my coworker visited me on the first day, but one female coworker, a 29-year-old female, kept coming back regularly. After the office, staying for hours. These were not quick check-ins, since I had nobody else with me in the hospital. I was genuinely grateful to have someone there. She brought me homemade food, we played games and conversed. I urged her multiple times to go home, but she never listened. I talked about my girlfriend constantly during those conversations. My girlfriend called me every day during my hospitalization, so she knew my coworker was taking care of me. Whenever she called, my coworker was usually with me. At one point, I was asleep when my girlfriend called, and my coworker picked up and told her to call back because I was sleeping. After that, I noticed my girlfriend seemed a little off in our calls. I thought that she was just worried about me. When she finally came back, she spent the last 2 days with me before I was discharged. I felt so loved. Our conversations were simply wonderful, but I still sensed something was wrong. On the way home, she confronted me. She said what happened with my coworker amounted to emotional cheating, and that she wondered if something had been going on because my coworker was taking care of me like a girlfriend would. I told her that I had urged my coworker to go home multiple times, that I had talked about my girlfriend constantly during these visits, and that she was being unfair. I also told my girlfriend that she called her pretty, but she told me that wasn't the compliment I thought it was. And then, in the middle of the fight, I told her my coworker wouldn't have had to do any of this if she had been here. I regretted it the second it left my mouth. I love her so much, and I hate that we are fighting. Things have really deteriorated since then. I feel like we are on the verge of breaking up. On top of that, my coworker has been texting me, and it would feel wrong to ignore someone who was there for me when I had nobody else. So I have been responding. My girlfriend hates that even more. So am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I definitely think this is crossing some lines. Like, I understand wanting company when you're in the hospital, but it's a little bit much for someone who you know as a coworker to be hanging out there while you sleep and answering your phone for you. I think that if you want to try and salvage your relationship with your girlfriend, you need to put some distance with between you and your coworker.
I think this is a bit of a complicated situation. There isn't any indicator to me that OP actually crossed any lines. They urged the coworker to go home. Maybe the coworker has some other intentions here, but they talked about the girlfriend here, and like there wasn't. It doesn't. I don't know if there was emotional infidelity here or not. And it's hard to say just from the way that OP has written this, right? It sounds like the coworker was concerned about OP not having anybody else and was there for them. Where I think OP is a jerk in the situation, though, is saying that if she had been here, if the girlfriend had been here, then the coworker wouldn't have had to spend the time there, right? I think that was a really low blow, and probably, if anything, is the thing that is causing the most friction at this point in time,
I mean,
too.
I'm sure that was a low blow, but I think the way that he's continuing to respond to the coworker is probably not helping when, you know,
It is not helping. I don't think that's helping at all. This is a very inflamed situation.
and the way he's justifying it as, well, I can't not talk to someone who is there for me.
Mm-hmm.
If she really cares about you as a friend and is not trying to get in your pants, she will hopefully understand if you need to put a little distance between the two of you for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would probably be best if OP talked to their coworker and said, "Hey, things are a little rough between me and my girlfriend right now. She's feeling very insecure about the relationship between you and me. I know there's nothing going on between us. Can we kind of just cool the conversations for now until put a moratorium on them, type of thing, right?" I think the coworker, like you said, if she isn't trying to get with OP, then they'll be very understanding and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention at all. I wasn't trying to create additional friction or anything like that." But if she's trying to create friction,
Oh yeah, if OP says that, and she immediately is like, "Oh, but I need to help you." Like,
mm-hmm,
you'll have all the information you need, but I think OP is setting a very dangerous precedent right now and is trying to treat both women like basically giving them the same like attention and priority.
Well, and again, like it's hard to say from this post for me personally. Like it could be the case. I don't know that OP did anything wrong other than say what they said in the to their girlfriend with the whole "you should have been here for me." But personally, I think like you're right. This does need to be one of these situations where OP does put probably a little bit of distance between them and the coworker, just so that they can have time to have this relationship heal. Maybe couples counseling could help them work through some of these problems and the communication aspects of this. But other than that, I mean, if the relationship ends at this point in time, it might end just because of how the girlfriend is feeling about this whole situation. If she feels that it's inappropriate, and if OP has made indicators that there was some kind of level of emotional infidelity here that they're not admitting to in this post, then I can understand her feeling like OP was unfaithful, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why couldn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
Probably because the hippie was too hip to be saved.
The hippie was too far out, man.
Oh, that wasn't actually too bad. That wasn't too bad. And I have Mega Mint. And folks, today is a very special day. I found something new on my desk that has appeared. It's one of those silicone packets, the one little air ones that you use to absorb moisture.
A desiccant packet?
Desiccant, right? So go find yourself a desiccant package. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on respecting your wife's boundaries.
If you share a bedroom with your partner, don't go inviting people into it when they're sleeping without their consent.
Agreed. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all on Monday.
Bye!